Right now at 5, we are live from the Twin Cities ahead of Wisconsin's matchup with Minnesota. Why the battle for Paul Bunyan's axe means even more this year. And crews in Dane County are searching for a missing couple last seen in Black Earth.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Danica Lewis. Eric and Susan have the night off. Wintry weather could affect weekend plans in south central Wisconsin. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary.
Danica, we have to watch two systems, one for tonight and the other for Sunday. Tonight, we may see a mixture of snow, sleet, freezing rain, or rain, depending on where you are. But north of Madison, more likely to see that mix of precipitation. Winter weather advisories are in effect until noon tomorrow for areas north of Dane County. Light precipitation starting to show up on radar, but it's not yet reaching the ground. Heavier precipitation heading toward Minnesota and the northern portion of Wisconsin, where winter storm warnings and even a blizzard warning have been issued up around the Superior area. And those winter weather advisories to the south. But the next storm system will affect, or the latter part of the storm system will affect us on Sunday with some light snow and maybe some wind and slippery road conditions. I'll have more details on weather in a few minutes.
All right, appreciate it, Gary. So the weather could be a pretty big factor in tomorrow. Oh, excuse me. We're going to check in with your First Alert weather app. Make sure that you have that ready to rock and roll for this weekend or any other time there is severe weather. Now, getting to the weather that could be a factor in tomorrow's battle for the axe in Minnesota. There's a lot more on the line, though, for the Badgers and the Gophers this year beyond the annual rivalry. Jay Wilson live from TCF Stadium. Ahead of that game, I'm just so excited about it, Jay. I almost jumped right over the weather app story there.
Well, I can't blame you, Danica. Good evening, everyone. This will be the 129th meeting between Wisconsin and Minnesota in football. And the series record, Wisconsin 60 wins, Minnesota 60 wins. There have been 8 ties. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty even matchup again tomorrow when the Badgers and Gophers play for the Big Ten West Championship at 2:30 at TCF Bank Stadium. Of course, a year ago, the Gophers came to Madison and pounded the Badgers 37-15 to regain control of Paul Bunyan's axe for the first time in 14 years. Of course, when the Gophers brought the axe back to Minneapolis, it started a wild celebration as the axe was even rented out for visit parties and wedding receptions. Some folks in Wisconsin thought it was a little rub it in your face. The coaches seem to disagree.
They can do what they want to do. They earned the right to have it. And no, I didn't spend a lot of time following or tracking it. And, you know, last year they beat us. And the winner of that game gets the axe.
Our state of Minnesota hadn't seen the axe for 15 years. It wasn't like we were holding it out the window, driving through the entire state of Wisconsin. That would be showing off.
The Gophers are ranked 9th in the country, Wisconsin 13th, but the Badgers are actually 2.5-point favorites, even though they're on the road playing at TCF Bank Stadium. Tomorrow afternoon, kickoff 2:30 in snowy Minneapolis. Let me update the weather forecast. Winter storm warning starts at 9 o'clock tonight. Minneapolis and north, 6 to 12 inches of snow. Wind gusts maybe 40 miles an hour. Should be fun. Danica?
That's definitely true, and it could be a good running game, I'm hoping. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate it. So we're looking ahead to a big game for the 5th-ranked Wisconsin volleyball team tonight as they take on 7th-ranked Penn State. That match starts in about 15 minutes, a little less here. The winner of the Big Ten will have an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. The NCAA Volleyball Selection Show is this Sunday. Several law enforcement agencies are still out searching this evening for an elderly couple who went missing after Thanksgiving dinner. Amy Reed joins us now with what to look out for while you're driving around tonight. Amy?
Don and Colleen Soper left their family's house yesterday at 3 p.m. They said they were going for a country drive, but since then, their family hasn't been able to find them. They're both 87 years old. Colleen has Alzheimer's with dementia, so her daughter worries she might be disoriented. Donald has diabetes, and his daughter isn't sure that he has his insulin on him. So with both of them, it's crucial to find them as soon as possible and get them emergency help. Their car, a 2008 Dodge Caliber, last pinged at the intersection of Highway J and 78. That's where the search is centered.
Best case scenario is we find them sitting somewhere at a dead end. They're cold, need some assistance, you know, take them to a local hospital and they'll be fine.
We spoke with the daughter of this couple. Tonight at 6, we'll show you what she had to say about her family going through this. She told us Colleen, her mom, had a silver alert out in August and it worked then. She's hoping for a miracle that it will work again this time.
So scary there. All right. Thank you, Amy. Hopefully somebody can find them. An investigation is underway following a fatal fire in Dodge County. It happened on Watercress Lane on Beaver Dam Lake in the town of Westford last night. Firefighters found heavy smoke and fire on the first floor of the home. 82-year-old Eleanor Newman got out of the house but died later from her injuries. Her 91-year-old husband, Ruben, was treated for his injuries and is expected to be okay. A woman is recovering this evening after falling off an icy bridge in Rock County. This happened on State Highway 11 in Janesville this morning. A woman driving a pickup lost control on the ice and the truck ended up disabled on the bridge near Reed Road. Now, while someone was helping her, another driver couldn't stop and steered into the side of the bridge, hitting the pickup and sending that woman off the bridge down 25 to 30 feet. First responders say there were 4 separate crashes in that spot this morning due to glare ice on the bridge. 2 people are dead and 3 others injured after a man attacked a crowd with a knife on London Bridge today. Witnesses say bystanders tackled the suspect and held him down before police arrived. Officers then fatally shot the suspect. Police say they do believe this was an act of terrorism, adding the suspect had a hoax explosive device strapped to his body. A search is underway for a man accused of stabbing multiple people in the Dutch city of La Hague. Dutch police say 3 people have been wounded during that stabbing in the city's main shopping district. A police spokeswoman said it is too early to say whether this is a terror attack. Well, there is more to come on News 3 Now at 5. Rock County getting into the holiday spirit. We are live at the Rotary Gardens display ahead of opening night. And then coming up tonight at 6, a popular Madison game store that was closed last week after 39 years in business is back open. We'll explain why at 6. Welcome back. The winter holiday season means the start of an annual tradition in Rock County, and our Rock County reporter Adam Duxter has the best assignment of the day, joining us live from the Janesville Rotary Gardens with the latest on this year's light show. Adam?
Yeah, Danica, that's an understatement. It's beautiful out here. And since the doors open at 4:30, there's been folks milling about ever since. And they're up to see up to 750,000 individual lights at this year's light show, and that's up more than 250,000 from last year. So there's quite a dang few. Now, the show is the main source of revenue for the Janesville Rotary Botanical Gardens, and it brought in close to 60,000 people last year. And volunteers have been setting up these lights for months. And even though they've battled the tough weather to do so, those involved say tonight it's all worth it.
Once the doors open and we get the first group of people through, that's when everybody can kind of relax a little bit and see that, all the efforts are worth it. The 3-month setup period and preparation and work are really worth it to see the smiles on those families.
And if you haven't made it down here so far tonight, there's still time. You can make it down here up till 8:30 tonight. That's how long they're selling tickets before lights turn off tonight at 9 o'clock. And if you don't make it tonight, do not worry. There's still 20 more nights that you can come. And for full details about tickets and dates that they're open, you can visit our website, channel3000.com.
Adam Duxter from a very festive and beautifully lit Rotary Gardens in Janesville. Thank you so much. The National Retail Federation says more than half of all consumers started their holiday shopping earlier this month, but today is still expected to be the largest holiday shopping day of the season. Holiday retail sales are expected to increase by more than 4% compared to last year. Among the many spots for sales, shoppers showed up bright and early to Easttown Mall, though one person we spoke to says it wasn't as busy as it usually is.
It's sad that there's not a bigger turnout because I feel bad for the retailers in the mall that aren't getting the business. It's going to be a tough season for them if it doesn't pick up.
And if you're wondering who people are buying gifts for, consumers are spending the most on their families, then themselves, and a little left over for their friends. Let's turn it over to Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary, still a lot of shopping to be done, and it could be a dicey weekend to do it.
Yeah, or people traveling back after the Thanksgiving holiday. Let's start out by taking a look at 3 things you need to know in the forecast. We've got a wintry mix tonight, and that could be a combination of some snow, some sleet, some freezing rain, or rain, depending on where you are. The best chances of seeing the mix will be north of Madison. That'll gradually change over to rain tomorrow. It'll be a windy rain at that as temperatures get up to around 40. And then on Sunday, it changes back to some light snow, especially in the afternoon, and some of that could accumulate a couple of inches, especially north and west of Madison. It'll be windy as well, and that could lead to travel problems. Winter weather advisories are in effect north of Dane County for tonight through about noon tomorrow. Then winter storm warnings in effect farther to the north. Blizzard warning up in northeastern Minnesota and right along the Lake Michigan or Lake Superior shoreline, as very strong winds are expected up there. The first batch of snow heading up toward the Twin Cities, and of course the Badgers have their football game tomorrow. And then rain and even some thunderstorms farther to the south where the air is warmer, but not by a lot. You can see here in southern Wisconsin, this is high resolution Doppler radar. There might be some light mixed precipitation here, but some of that may not be reaching the ground. So again, that's why the winter weather advisory is in effect for mainly areas north of Madison where temperatures are more likely to be below the freezing mark, at least for a longer period of time. An alert day in the forecast for that. Then, after we get this mix of precipitation through during the day tomorrow, you notice how it changes over to rain, and that will continue off and on for much of the day tomorrow before changing over to some light snow on Sunday. Ice potential, perhaps a glaze of ice, a small glaze just up north of Madison, and maybe an inch or two of snow accumulation for tonight. A lot of that may melt tomorrow. Then we have an alert day in the forecast for Sunday for light snow of 1 to maybe as much as 2 or 3 inches in the afternoon north and west of Madison. This is what Future Track shows. The heavier amounts will be farther to the north into central Wisconsin, and that could impact people heading back from traveling over the holiday weekend. Live view from the Edgewater Skycam in Madison. Skies are cloudy, but it's been a pretty uneventful day. Low this morning, 35. Low this morning, 31. The high, 35. And right now, we're at that high for the day of 35. Winds out of the east-northeast at 8. But notice if temperatures drop just a couple of degrees, that could lead to a wintry mix of precipitation. And if you are traveling over the next couple of days, the area in red and purple, that's where the worst of the travel conditions will be, mainly from the winter storm over the next couple of days. And then on Sunday, notice we go into the yellow area. That's because of some light snow that's a possibility Sunday afternoon into Sunday night. So our forecast includes winter weather advisories north of Dane County for tonight into tomorrow morning. Look for a low of 33. That mix of precipitation will start to change over to rain by tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow, it'll be a windy day with a high temperature of 40 and mainly off and on rain through the day. As we take a look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, notice how those temperatures stay in the 30s for next week. But notice the lack of precipitation, too. Of course, we get past the holiday weekend when we want the travel conditions to be nice, and we have it during the work week when everybody goes back to work.
I know. Well, maybe people will be able to delay one day.
Yeah, if you have that as an option, Monday would be a great day to travel.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like it. Oh, that nice stretch of weather is going to be really nice after all of this kind of crudiness. Yeah. Well, Gary, thank you. We can't say the same for the Badgers and the Gophers up north there. We will have an update from Jay coming up in the next half hour. But for now, CBS Evening News is up next. We'll see you at 6.